哪一个？快快快！OK， 可以了，可以了。
可以吗？
Here, I would like to do a short voiceover to describe the only time we got scammed in our entire Hanoi trip. But it was really just a small amount of money, and it was transport related. Firstly, I would like to express that our experiences here in Vietnam are very pleasant. Vietnamese we encounter are extremely nice and helpful. What happened is the uniformed staff at Hanoi station will try to hard sell the transportation to Sapa. We opt for the high price option to do a private transfer. Receipt of the payment was given to us, and later we handed the receipt to their counterpart at Lao Chai. Despite paying the high price, we still ended up being seated into a shared minibus. We did not want to make a big fuss or argue, as it's really not a big deal. And frankly, I am not sure if the scam was initiated from Hanoi station or the problem lies with their counterpart at Lao Chai.
Oh, we have 4, right?
旁边小路灯 right 就是了。刚才比较 clear， 它是一阵一阵的，现在又。
Do you still read WhatsApp?
Yes.
Where's the avocado?
来那边。导我来这边，你用脚 kick 过来就可以。Weather is so good today.这个哦，是那个 famous 的，每个人来这边拍的。这个黄色的 building。
每个人都在拍，你在讲没有人拍。
它滚了吗？你看那个虾会不会熟？应该是会熟。 对对。我觉得上次我们每次 attempt to do 这种东西 right，
כן, בוא נעשה, רוצה?我们去找一个咖啡坐下来喝。那个才是同的。
那个也是，
哪里？
里面不一样的地方没？
我们去开了，好不好？Thank you.
Smart and 1, 2, 3. Smile, smile.
Go ahead.
小心打到指甲。
没有。
我都脏脏的，脏脏的，来。
我是拍 video 诶。This fries right is like whipped potato inside and it's so crispy outside right. Is it the best fry you ever had? And you think McDonald's fries is better?
Different people have different preference.
You think this fry is better or McDonald's fries better?
Obviously, McDonald's fries is better.
I think you're not being fair. Before the camera is on right, you say that this fry is better. And you say your daughter is like shit.
I never said that.
Ungrateful piece of shit. If McDonald's fries is better, can I stop eating it? Stop it! Okay. Mommy, right? Test. Give you a taste test, mate.
For a non-seafoody person,
Is it good? Nah, serious ah.
not bad.
Okay. It's good ah.
Come on, I go eat prawn 欸。
你敢不敢？它 crispy 的里面哦，有很多它的那个 cream 的嘞。
啊。
哎呀，你很 dramatic 啊！讲真好吃吗？好吃吗？好吃吗？
And the tangling curry taste just spit on my mouth.
Not win.
And it just explode in my mouth. Good.
She's busted.
No, seriously. Is it nice or it's just normal?
Normal?
Oh, normal. Okay, too bad. OK 啦，可以啦。没有，它有位置的。
哦，有位置啊，有位置啊，
Yeah?
有位置啊。
It's okay?
On the way, we noticed a few local villagers were following us. Our tour guide was very transparent. She explained that they will follow us on our trekking journey, helping us along the way, and in return hoping that we may buy some merchandise from them. In our case, 3 children were following us. We just did not see the need to waste their time. So we bought something from the eldest girl and tipped the other 2 younger ones and told them to go home.
Sister.
Maybe it's too much for your boy, and we just stay on the road for now, and we go on the track later.
I still will prefer track.
Yeah.
I prefer to go down.
But now it's a bit more younger, more older.
More older.
Yeah, more older now to get married. So the kids have to be up too.
Yeah.
So the rice terrace, they're still planting on that part, and they're still working on plant the rice. The other green part dry is the cornfield. Yeah, colors come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some when we harvesting, when we this.
Ah.
Yes. 15 minutes and then take it out to put here.
Mm.
Okay, so then we don't have to keep doing. We have to separate the half. The half come out, and then we take it out, bring it. We used it a long time ago, but now it's just for it. Okay. So we have machine now. And this is the one. Kind of carry a lot of heavy or sand or cement kind of. This family still come now, but most.
This 小妹妹的脚这样子是来 hold 我们的，是不是？
不要紧，不要紧，我可以，我可以。
真的嘞，是小妹妹扶我嘞。
小妹妹在扶你哎。
呀。很厉害，小妹妹。Thank you。
他们每
Thank
天走
you。Thank you is 感恩。哦，but 它不是哦，它是 Hmong language。
I think they understand.
Yeah.
I think basic Vietnamese they still understand.
Okay, I follow behind. Are you okay? Oh, 也是很美，你看，那
Valley 耶。
Valley, yeah.
The village we go.
Wow, 我的脚是很酸耶，直耶。
bridge, but water inside.
There's water inside.
Yes.
Oh, under the bridge.
Oh, yes.
哦，I think 它是他们的那个
Is a
I-
part there.
Oh.
agriculture system 的，是不是？
Yeah, irrigation 啊。Oh, can see there? This is a water pipe.
哦，他们 pass through water through bridge 啊。
Yeah.
哎，你们来这边拍照嘞？
你来来来来，我跟你这样拍下来。
Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, a bit like Nintendo.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah, girl likes it.
Yes, sure.
你觉得是假的？
你看它，香港到摩价摩多的。你看，而且这种地方喝两杯真的很不错哦。哦嘛，你们会 drift 的嘞？drift。
Đi thì đông dương quá, không bất ngờ lắm. Oh no.
Look at how many sharks are still being killed every year.
基本上在看你。连它的 cake 是小片还是大片？
所以然後嚟想呢個係最有看我是什麼事？
A sight which is quite sad is there are children and toddlers as young as 4 years old carrying infant walking around in town centre trying to sell merchandise to tourists. And as a parent, it did bother us in a certain way, and we are not sure if we did the right things by not patronizing them. We feel that as long as this is a profitable business, the syndicate will always continue to exploit these young children.
The good view is on the left side. Oh, 还有这个叫什么啊？
cigarettes, matches, lighters, or other flammable items.
还是人家来这边拍照、休息的。Look like a souvenir place 啊。
trải nghiệm cùng những nét văn hóa độc đáo hiếm có của người.
Oh, 对，我们是一个。
那我们跟左来来。
看不到，什么都看不到。去看有没有看得到东西。
我们走去找，我也找过。
During your day, if you detect any flammable items, please quickly extinguish it and immediately inform the nearest staff.
And avoid using umbrellas or sunglasses. We also recommend stepping carefully on the stone stairs.
或是领关系帮来人先警场。
Fancy Band Summit 还有再上多一个，哪一个？这个好。
被贴在墙壁。
你们看，贴在墙壁。哇，你看，前面是不是达利达比来的？红色、青色，哒哒哒利达比。我这个贴在墙壁。印第安人真的喜欢猴呢，这边只有他一辆车，他也知道。
要跟人家讲说他到了啦。
Frank， 这 Frank。OK， 可以了，可以了。哇，不错，这样你看起来。
哎呀，看起来不错啊。